Today I'm going to show you how to do a layered backstitch. A layered backstitch is a little bit different than the long and short stitch, where all of the stitches are relatively close to the same length. It's similar to a brick stitch, which I think is another name for this exact type of stitch. This is a great one to fill large areas. It's also really good for letters and borders. To begin, you're going to trace your pattern onto your hoop or onto your fabric. Then the other thing that you will want to do is I really recommend wrapping your hoop with fabric when you do this stitch, because there are so many stitches. It has a tendency to pull the fabric, and if you have wrapped your hoop, it gives so much more tension and holds your fabric nice and taut in the hoop while you stitch. Once you have your pattern traced, you're going to back stitch around the entire length of the outside of whatever it is you're going to fill with this layered back stitch. I recommend using as long of a back stitch as you can, keeping in mind the curves and shape of your project to make sure that you have enough room, I guess, to make those turns. But the longer the stitch, the easier it is to be more accurate in your layered back stitch. So once you have done your first row, you're going to come back and do your layering. You're going to divide the stitch in half, bring up your needle, see if I can show you more accurately, and then pull it through, and then you're just going to do your back stitch. So basically you're just offsetting your back stitches by half as you go around. Now, if you were to keep going around and filling out this shape by just going back and forth, you would end up with kind of a U-shaped fill, which may or may not be the look you're going for. For this particular shape, I wanted most of the stitches to kind of be up and down to mimic kind of the seeds and how a strawberry actually looks. And one tip for doing that is I went ahead and used a pencil to kind of lightly trace in some guidelines so that I could know how to angle my stitches and kind of fill my areas and keep those stitches going the direction that I want them to. So you can see that by following those guidelines and stuff, my stitches follow the curve of the strawberry and maintain the look that I'm going for, instead of just going back and forth and being a U all the way up. I hope you've enjoyed the layered back stitch. Like I said, it's a fabulous, beautiful stitch.